Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're having a good Sunday. Mine is miserable, the weather's miserable, I'm miserable, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about Canelo supposedly versus Bud Crawford. Look, no sooner has the dust settled, or had the dust even settled, on Canelo's victory over Edgar Berlanga, then suddenly we had, I think it was Turki Al-Sheikh. Come on, let's make that fight. Bud Crawford versus Canelo. I think this is a stupid fight, all right? And I'd like to tell you why. You may agree, you may disagree, that's absolutely fine. But this is my reasoning, okay? There are weight divisions for a reason, as the cliche goes. Crawford started off as a lightweight. You could argue, well, Canelo started off as a super featherweight. But Canelo was 15, for fuck's sake, all right? So let's get some perspective here, all right? But as a grown man, Bud was a lightweight. Yes, you know, he outgrew the division, definitely. 140 undisputed, 147 undisputed. Moved up to 154. What is he now? 36, 37, something like that. Bud, is he even older than that? Is he 38, pushing 38? Whatever he is, he's late 30s, all right? Mid to late 30s. And against Madrimov, he didn't look great. I thought he won the fight, fair enough. But didn't look particularly good. You could say ring rust had a... there was an element of ring rust, but let's compare that performance to not just Canelo's performance against Berlanga, but the one against Munguia, because these were two guys who, although they lacked experience, and I think experience played a major part in both those contests, nevertheless they were two, big, strong, 6 foot, 6'1", whatever, guys with, thick legs and a lot of power, a lot of knockouts on their record, and they didn't come to lie down. They both came to win, although I did think Berlanga looked a bit not intimidated, is that too strong a word? But he settled into the fight, he got floored, they both got floored, Munguia got floored as well. But they went the distance with, an extremely good champion, steeped in experience, a guy who for years has been a super middleweight, extremely strong. Even though he's short for the weight, he's extremely strong, very, very talented, immense accuracy, doesn't waste anything. Incredible ring IQ, Canelo as well. I mean, someone who clearly has lived the life of for 20 years of a true fighter. And even though there'll always be a black mark over him for the failed PED test, just as there is with one of my all-time favourite fighters, which was Roy Jones. I'm not going to dismiss that failed drug test at all. But nevertheless, regardless of the David Benavidez duck and all that, Canelo looks extremely good, even at his advanced age, with an awful lot of miles on the clock. He's now got that Marvin Hagler, 62, 2-2 record, which I always think of Hagler when I hear that, because that was his record before he fought Leonard. But you're talking about Crawford, who's only had one fight at 154, moving up to fight a 168-pounder. Why? Okay, now the old-timers, I suppose at my age I could call myself a bit of an old-timer, but the guys who are in their 70s or even older, they'll say, yeah, but... Or maybe people who just understand boxing history, who know a little bit about boxing history, they will say, yeah, but, who should we have? I don't know. Let me think of it. Henry Armstrong is the obvious example. Fought Cefriano Garcia at middleweight when he was a little more than a lightweight and got a draw. Ray Robinson faced Carmen Basilio, for example. Moved up, jumped up, never really more than a welterweight, fought for the middleweight title and won it and lost the rematch and so on and so forth to Robinson and blah, blah, blah. So you can pick any of these, Sam Langford, go way, way back. Sam Langford, fought, was never really more than the middleweight, fought heavyweights, beat them. The colour bar was in, and more recently, one more recent example. Let's take Roy Jones. I mentioned Jones a moment ago. Okay, did he want to fight Lennox Lewis at heavyweight? No, of course not. But he did take on John Ruiz and beat him when he was weighing 198 with God knows how many coins in his pockets. So people will say that, and they will say, "What's wrong with Bud Crawford going up and fighting Canelo?" Well, let's put it this way. If that fight occurred, I would make Canelo an 80-20. And I'm being generous to Crawford. I'd say 80-20. Do I think Crawford is incapable of beating Canelo? No, not incapable. I wouldn't quite go that far, but I would be immensely surprised if he got a sniff against Canelo. I'm thinking of the styles and matchups, and I mean, if they were the same size, yeah, no question. I might even pick Bud to beat Canelo. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just off the top of my head. But because of the weight differential, no. Look, it's a stupid gimmick fight, not unlike this matchup, this ridiculous matchup that caused such great drama between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. The two names, you stick them together, we create a great, wonderful event. But that's all it is, an event. It's not a proper boxing contest. All right. Now, if Bud was to drag Canelo down to 160. Could Canelo do 160? I very much doubt it. Very much doubt it. But not at this point of his career, not the age he is. But I just, why do people want these stupid gimmick fights? I suppose it's to attract the casuals, but I just think it's a lot of bullshit. I really do think it's a load of crap. I don't understand. Maybe I'm missing something. And I suppose that's partially the point of this video. If I'm missing something, if you want to see Canelo against Bud and you think it's a viable matchup, a serious matchup for serious boxing fans, you tell me why, okay? And then if I hands up, if I read something and I think, okay, I missed that, I'll admit it, no question about it. I hope you guys who follow the channel know me well enough to know I'm a very, very honest guy. Very objective. So please leave your comments below and I want to read them. If you think that this is a good matchup, if you don't think it's a good matchup, well, obviously you share my opinion, but if you don't like it for a reason I haven't stated, do so. I'm always interested to read your comments. Anyway, yeah, thank you as always for your time, and especially on a Sunday when you've got so much else to do, mainly just lazing around like me. There's never enough time to do absolutely fuck all, is there? Anyway, thank you very much. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing, and I'll read your comments. Thank you very much. Look after yourselves. Bye for now.